Welcome to Friday Heavy, your guide to the world of aggressive and abrasive and loud music. Brought to you by the folks behind Tune Dig. I am Cliff.
And I'm Kyle. Don't clench your teeth like that, Cliff.
My dentist told me the same thing.
Each episode we cover, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are joining us for the not first time, welcome back. Each episode we cover three things: one brand new release and why we think it'll be worth a spin, one playlist we've curated to explore a heavy subgenre or artist or scene, etc., and thirdly, and perhaps most importantly of all, one organization doing critical, cultural, impacting work in their community so that you can do something with all that punk rock energy and guilt. Let's get into it. Cliff, it's a very good week to need heavy music, and this might be the heaviest one so far in terms of new releases. What are we talking about?
We're going really hard on all fronts for the next 18 minutes, so buckle up. This week we're going to talk about Primitive Man. We are fixing our eyes on the latest release from this band who we've seen a number of times. Kyle really pulled me into their orbit. Primitive Man describes themselves as planet Earth's first and only death sludge band, so we're on the right track. Their new LP is called Insurmountable, out today on Closed Casket Activities. Now, we have gotten to cover some really great punk and hardcore on this podcast already, but Primitive Man is already going to kind of stand apart from what we've discussed for sure. Now, especially to the trained is not the right word, but trained ear for heavy music. Okay, Primitive Man is a really good example of why we chose the word heavy to try to talk about this range of music that we're talking about anyway. Because yes, they are planet Earth's first and only death sludge band, but you can even hear from 30 seconds of what we'll play. It's also noise and it's drone and I would go so far as to call it a new form of doom, because they've really captured the zeitgeist of that subgenre itself, and it's scary in a way that Black Sabbath must have been scary when you first heard Black Sabbath.
I would prefer, instead of genre words, that we use words like scary or slow or tall or dark or molasses or kill you in your sleep. If you're like me, those genre labels probably mean nothing to you and are like the difference between colors of white paint in Home Depot swatches. So just bear with us for 60 more seconds and get to the audio snippet and you'll understand what we mean.
For sure.
This is what Cliff, you normally get more literal descriptors from Cliff, and you get stuff like Hunter S. Thompson trying to write about the sound of a bag full of marbles going down a staircase in his hotel room.
Listening to Primitive Man is like trying to hold up an anvil with your eyelashes. How's that?
And if you don't, someone will kill you.
So they've released a single 11-minute single called Cage Intimacy. So like I had said, honestly, the first 30 seconds of this are not only going to touch on the reason that genres don't work here, but also, quite honestly, this is about to be as accessible as this band gets at all. So you're about to get the idea. And then whatever you just felt about whatever you just heard, this band is on another level entirely when you see them live. Whatever they've decided to do, everyone in the audience is trying to hold up an anvil with their eyelashes together and failing. It's massively intense, and you need to get some serious ear protection if you want to enjoy a Primitive Man show at all, because they're going to play, at least at this point, they're going to play in a really tiny room, and they're going to play at Sun O levels. It's gonna hurt. I watch people hurt every time we see Primitive Man.
And I hurt. I feel like I know there's someone listening to this who's like, these guys sound insane. None of this sounds like a thing I would voluntarily do with my body and my attention. And I'm like, well, what about all those people that have kids? That's an insane choice too. Getting married is an insane choice. I don't know, man. Life is pointless. Try and hurt your body with sound waves once in a while. So anyway, that's our 5-star review of Insurmountable out today on Closed Casket Activities, which, by the way, is a sick label, and it didn't dawn on us until just before recording to this. And it didn't dawn on us until right before recording this how much we apparently love all things Closed Casket. They gave us End. They gave us some Full of Hell. They gave us Gate Creeper, Gulch, soon to be RIP, Incendiary, Nails, Portrayal of Guilt, Twitching Tongues, Vane, who we covered in the first episode of this. So shout out to Closed Casket. Thanks for all you're doing for the world of heavy music. Very, very sick stuff coming out of your label. So Insurmountable, go listen to it however you want, and then send Primitive Man your money through shows. They will probably be in your town soonish. They are relentless tours. Cop their merch. They have sick merch, and through a direct donation of your variety.
So, Kyle, every week I feel like I'm giving you an insurmountable task. Oh, I just referenced the record. That was great, buddy. I feel like I'm giving you an insurmountable task with a playlist, but we always say we'll see how this comes together. So how do you even playlist this, and how did you achieve this pinnacle?
I logged on to Doom and selected the Hurt Me Plenty skill level and just said, give me that, but for my ears and body. The playlist can't all be fun. If this one doesn't work for you, go back to the DIY punk flyer one from a few weeks ago.
The theme of this episode is not uplifting. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
This one's bleak. So I think the thing to know about this kind of music that I came to as sort of a terminal velocity from desert rock, like Caius eventually led me to this. This kind of music is a way of, I guess Sabbath led everyone to this, like with everything else. This kind of music is a way of life. Like either you were born to play in a band like this and it just comes naturally to you, or this music probably scares you at least a little. It's slow, very slow on purpose. It's enveloping tonally and volume wise. It's got massive and crunchy tone. It's like insane guitar tone that's a little different than anything you'll hear anywhere else, and huge, typically fairly harsh feedback, very different than Sun, who uses feedback to sort of like mellow and harmonious ends. It is, for my money, the heaviest stuff there is. There's no heavier music than you can make. Like you can go in the drone and noise or death grips or chaotic lightning bolt, whatever type of direction. That's harder. That's harsher. This is the heaviest matter in the universe. This is blackest ever black here. So this has its origins in our peak downloading days, where like you and I would scour the hyper niche blogs and we would just follow the related artist recommendations as far as they'd go. Like, oh, I like this band, I'm going to go check out Arwake. I like this band, I'm going to check out Noothgrush. And you have all these bands on your iPod 30 days later that you're like, I don't know what any of this shit is, but I'm going to put it on shuffle. And that was back when you could download whole discographies straight from the blogs on Mediafire, and then you'd make up for the guilt of that sin by spending all your money that you already didn't have on shows and merch. So shout out to the early and mid 2000s. I also threw in some, I guess, less harsh stuff like Electric Wizard, because groove helps break up the monotony on there. But frankly, thinking of a song like Funeralopolis as a palate cleanser is hilarious. But I think it ventures to be some of the lighter fare on there, but that's like one of the heaviest songs I know. Again, if you're at the holy shit, why would I even venture to do this place? Because this is like 2.5 hours of face smackers. The recommended listening scenario is one, if you're just curious about the outer limits in one direction and you go and explore it and you're like, never going back there, but glad I got a postcard at the gift shop. After about 2 or 3 bourbon drinks, when you need just like a tidal wave of loud, and there are days where that helps and you like can't do scream therapy, or when you're doing hard labor, like if you're chopping wood or you're building something in your backyard and you just need pain to offset the pain, like when you have a headache and you pinch the part between your thumb and your index finger to focus on something else, it's real good for that. So if we haven't sufficiently scared you off or intrigued you in a weird, dark way, the playlist is called Primitive, and we'll share it in the thread.
I love it. Another possible angle, in case we haven't caught somebody yet, I can also see, you mentioned this kind of somehow being the terminus of desert rock for you in a single direction. Another would be like if you're a person who likes Melvins, or especially if you kind of got in a little bit to Harvey Milk out of Athens, the band, like this is sort of like if everything just gets evil. It's like the evil termination of all of that sense of like super slow, super heavy riff stuff that kind of felt good or felt classic rock. This is the end of the road.
That's super, super spot on. It's like the Rick and Morty episode where they go to the spa and they suck the evil versions of themselves out.
Yeah.
The original version that's both of them is the Melvins. The cleansed version of them is Torch. And the dark version is every band on this playlist.
I love it. We did it.
We did it. It's a week where you could use the gnarliest music you've ever heard. And every week, we talk about an organization doing meaningful work in their community. Our hope when we do that is to make you aware of an underlying societal situation and then show you that the people around you are often the most powerful partners in making change happen because they're already working on doing it. This week, buoyed by the sounds of Primitive Man, we are filled with the rage of 1,000 suns. I'm going to try to use my nice words. And we're going to keep ourselves focused because we collectively have to. Because a majority of the literally unelected and completely unaccountable Supreme Court will be telling America that they can now be arrested and sentenced for even attempting to receive health care in the form of an abortion. This is already happening unconstitutionally. And yes, this will disproportionately harm the poor and minorities like always. Yes, this gives the already violent police something new to enforce with their own biases. And these justices are fully aware of this and fully don't care. And you could argue that they were put in place for exactly this purpose. And yes, finally, you can give up the idea that there is something redeeming here, or that this is not as bad as it seems. It turns democracy upside down and it puts our system of government into question as a whole. They did this on purpose, knowing that Americans favor access to abortion nearly 2-1. And yet this is where we are. So, Cliff, what can we do?
We're gonna keep each other focused. We're gonna focus on what we can do, man. First stop is, and we're always gonna encourage people, if you've listened to Tune Dig at all in the past, you're gonna have heard us say this. First stop when we notice that something like this is going on is to listen to the folks who have been telling us that this was happening. There are a lot of people who told us this day would come. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna reflect on our assumptions as people. And we're going to be more thoughtful than ever about where our money and where our energy goes about this. Because to quote the title of a blog article that meant a lot to me at the time, no one is coming. It's up to us. So I want to start just by calling out Mariame Kaba is a well-known prison industrial complex abolitionist and organizer and author of books that we both love, like We Do This Till We Free Us. I want to just read a tweet from her. I think this will put us in the right place. She said, "I'm already seeing calls to donate to Planned Parenthood and NARAL, etc. Why? What are they going to do? What marching orders have they issued to regular folks? What is the money you donate to them going to facilitate? Not a cent for me," she said. "I support at abortion funds on a national level." And so others have echoed this call to support abortion funds right now. And others have echoed specifically supporting the National Network of Abortion Funds. So that's who we're talking about. They are a nonprofit whose stated mission is to remove financial and logistical barriers to abortion access by centering people who have abortions and organizing at the intersections of racial, economic, and reproductive justice. Their website, which is abortionfunds.org, offers a really easy process for connecting with local organizations that can support the needs of any person needing an abortion. If you're listening to this, you probably already know this, but you know someone who has had an abortion. You love someone who's had an abortion, whether you know that or not. So this network of abortion funds helps with the financial and logistical needs of arranging this procedure, because it's a lot, right? It's a lot, and a lot of people need support. So we can support the NNAF with donations or direct membership or purchases from their store. They've got some like really cool merch, honestly. They will connect you with your local abortion fund as well, so that you can help people access this very medically necessary procedure while horrendously evil people impose their religion on our bodies. Okay, you can use this organization not only to support overall abortion funds, but also to get connected with the ones in your area so that people in your community have access to the care that they need. And I'm really calling this out personally. I'm a former significant Planned Parenthood monthly donor. And for myself, reading up on abortion funds, specifically local ones, was really necessary work for me. And so by sharing this, me and Kyle were hoping that it will benefit others kind of within the sound of our voice as well. So that is the National Network of Abortion Funds, and you can check them out at abortionfunds.org. And if you have not heard of an abortion fund as a concept before, I want to encourage you to, especially if you kind of reacted to that, take a deep breath, go learn some more about it, and try to understand when and why people might need access to this procedure so that you can help them, because we're about to need all the help that we can get. Anything else, Kyle?
I don't think so. Look out for the others and the outcasts. Take care of yourself. Keep fighting the power. This has been Friday Heavy, and we will be back in 2 weeks.
Go to tunedig.com or follow us on Instagram and Twitter for links to the new release, the playlist, and the organization that we talked about today.